Hey guys, welcome. I'm Catherine, and this is Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. So, my topic for today is homeschooling and specifically unschooling. So, like many of you guys out there, I find myself in the boat of having my kid at home and having to school. There's lots of you guys that are signing them up for public school, and you're doing some sort of hybrid model, actual in classroom learning, and then some in home learning where you've got a curriculum. And then there's many of us that are trying our hand at homeschooling for the very first time. That would be me. So I am also one of many that's trying to juggle a full-time job along with homeschooling. And so I wanted to show you guys some of the things that I've done and the course that we're taking. And I was also wondering if you guys would throw out your suggestions on what you're doing with your kids. And if you've homeschooled before, some tips and tricks for those who, like me, are new to this rodeo. So welcome guys that are just joining me. Feel free to make comments, ask questions. Please give this a thumbs up because I do appreciate it. You can see my kid in the background. This is very real for us. So like I said, a lot of us come pandemic, we're now finding ourselves homeschooling for the first time. And it is kind of overwhelming because you have a lot of responsibility here on your shoulders. You're literally taking the education of your child into your own hands, and you're either feeling really confident about it and you've got some sort of, let's see, William, you're awesome, ready to move back to Pensacola. God bless. Thank you, William, and thank you so much for joining. So, again, I'm not really exactly sure what I'm doing. Becca's here, welcome. But I've defined some really key things that are important to me as a parent that I am really adamant on my child getting to know, that I'm not exactly sure if she's actually had this in school. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a longtime Montessori parent. And the Montessori education philosophy is really catering to the whole child, and it's very counterintuitive to the public school philosophy. It more caters to the child and their desires and what it is that they want to learn. And so if they're really enthusiastic and interested in something like geography, Montessori allows them the freedom to fully immerse themselves in things like maps and research of whatever their specified topic of interest is. And then the teacher, who they actually don't call them teachers, they actually call them guides, will then encourage them to hit some topics and areas that maybe they're not necessarily strong on, but they definitely allow them the freedom and opportunity to explore what's really important to them and what interests them. And as a parent, what I've really discovered here is that I don't really care if she knows necessarily the quote unquote book learning. What I found is more important is the love of learning. And so if you have a love of learning and the desire to explore and really seek out your own information and to be able to weigh facts and not necessarily know facts, but be able to find information, that you're heads and tails above most average individuals that have been spoon-fed information. So old gas engines, I'm sure you'll do absolutely excellent homeschooling, Shelby. Oh, thank you so much, Shelby. Because it's that didn't cut us off. No, good. In fact, I just set my phone to do not disturb, so I hope that's not an issue. So, and I'd drop you guys off if I weren't live. I do that to myself. Love-hate relationship. North Star Prepstetter, Kathy, welcome. So again, going back to this, it's not so much being spoon-fed information. So if my kid does not retain anything that I teach her this year, I'm at peace with the fact that at least I'm teaching her how to learn. And so that's where the power comes, guys. And if we are locked into the education that we're spoon-fed and that's all that we are ever exposed to, then that's really limiting our own capacity and our own opportunities. So, but for those of you who are homeschooling and you have no idea where to start here, let's see, Life in the UP, welcome. I'm sure you'll do great. I've been homeschooling, unschooling my children for many years. Aw, Zigzag Chapman, welcome. So Kathy says, I homeschooled my girls for 13 years. It's an amazing experience. You'll do great. Thank you. Because like I said, for all of us parents who are brand new to this, it's a little overwhelming because you are taking a huge responsibility on your shoulders. So things that I have identified that are important to me as a parent. Things like civics. I don't know how much exposure our kids, and specifically my kids in an alternative school, have been exposed to things like our government in its beginnings. why and how we did things originally, and how have we altered things in the 200-ish years since. So I want to go back to my basics, back to my roots. That's important for me as a homesteader in general. I mean, that really speaks to things as there were things set up in place a long time ago, and as I don't even want to say evolve, as things change, it's important to reflect on where we came from, because if we don't know our history, as they say, we are doomed to repeat it. Let's see. Shannon's here. We're not at the end. We're just getting started, and she's homeschooling her granddaughters. They don't teach it on purpose. I agree. I think that civics and things like our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, I think that they're glazed over and minimalized for a reason. So Becca says, love this. Imagine if we all followed. How beautiful. So yeah, and that's the thing. The system is always, it's cut off. So sorry, I'd read your whole quote there, Becca, but it's cut off. So yeah, things that are also important. I am a science nerd. I taught anatomy and physiology. I was a lab, what do they call them, teacher's assistant in college, and this was right up my alley, so I thought this was fun. As a parent, you can do all sorts of things teaching yourself too. So this is a refresher for you. Montessori is kinesthetic learning. It is hands-on. You see it, you touch it, you feel it. You could smell it and taste it if you wanted to. I don't recommend that with this material, but it's not some sort of ambiguous thing. You see it. So 2. These are math beads. I bought my kid flashcards, and so she could physically take these out and do her math equations, and it's real. She can touch it. There's nothing abstract about this. You can see it. If you don't have the money to be able to buy these things, because Montessori materials for whatever reason tend to be on the expensive side, you can build things yourself with this. Beads in a chain. So, and then you can couple it with abstract learning. So easy. And then I quiz my kid in the car, because I do a paper route. So 4 days a week I spend 2 hours in the car, and we have conversations, and I do weird random math questions. So flashcards are always fun and easy. And there is just a ton of flashcards out there, relatively inexpensive, any and all topics that you could think of. So, but I thought 2 + 2 = 5 these days. Geez Louise, isn't it crazy? Things are crazy. So go back to your own basics. Jim made it on a live. All right, welcome. So, and then things that are important to me, reading. And these kids are so immersed in their electronics these days, and there is no real socialization. There's no developing relationships aside from this very, in my own mind, superficial. So if you go back to books, not only are they following along with a plot, but they are relating to individuals, and there is character development, and you become friends and family, and you become emotionally invested in characters. It is soul building. So I got my kid the Little House on the Prairie series, because again, that speaks to my heart. She has a whole bunch of books that are corny and entertaining for her, and I find it important to have that balance. So she chooses what she wants, I choose what I want, and I try and make it enjoyable and fun to her. So Becca says flashcards are great. We made some. Yeah, you can make your own. So Kathy says definitely immerse them in history so they know the ramifications of actions and not to repeat it. Absolutely. How important is that? Anybody's questions or comments? I miss these lives. I love these lives. I get a little distracted as I'm trying to do this, but try and stay on topic. So it's great because this is community, and this is something that is lacking out of the homeschooling experience, is the experience of interaction with kids, with other kids. And so on that topic with my child, because she, even though we have older siblings for her, well, not for her, they don't like belong to her, but she's got 2 older siblings, but they are adults, they moved out of the house. And so for all intents and purposes, she is an only child. And so I have some sort of responsibility to her to ensure that she gets some sort of interaction with other kids her own age. And things are weird these days. Families are feeling uneasy about getting together. School is definitely weird, and since I'm not sending her to school, she's missing that opportunity. And in fact, she verbalized it to me for the first time the other day. She says, "Mom, I miss the classroom. I miss the kids, I miss my teacher, I miss the lessons. But she says mostly I miss just being able to hang out and talk to kids my own age. And ugh, what do you do in the middle of a pandemic when people are afraid to get together? So let's see, Joseph. Hey, Joseph, sent Miss Mary some more of those Jack and Beanstalk beans yesterday. Thanks so much for the soap. So, and she needs to buy some gopher shot. Yeah, I've got gophers too. That's homesteading. You've always got some sort of battle. So, which I guess makes life an adventure. It definitely keeps it interesting. So to address the social aspects with my child, I've reached out to, yeah, so Kathy said that's the hard part when they can't be together. This is really, it's interesting and it's hard, and we're learning so much about ourselves and society and our human interactions and our need for that societal bond and how interconnected we are, and yet how being isolated, it sounds appealing to a lot of us, and yet we do need that interaction to some degree. Social media is great. It doesn't quite fill the same need as human to human contact. So, okay, Zigzag says, number 8, bird shot works great for gophers. Yeah, I need to have some conversations with you too. So, because I've got some shotgun questions just in general, and you're my go-to guy. So as far as social interactions, I am getting together with another homeschooling family that's relatively isolationist. They are local to us, and what we're doing is we're doing outdoor activities, and we're coupling them with educational experiences. And so recently, my daughter and I, we took a hike and we learned about the McComas incident, which was back in the Apache era. And so we had this whole great history lesson on things that are happening in our backyard, which I think we miss a lot of too. Like as we're sitting in a school chair and we're learning about history, it's not necessarily in our backyard. So take advantage of your opportunity. You've got a real experiential opportunity here with our kids. So Kathy says, gotta run, many blessings. Thank you so much. I'm glad you joined. So this coming weekend, we are going to take a hike here locally. This is going to be really neat for these kids to be able to get out there and explore their own backyards in a way they have not been able to up until this point, just because we've been so busy with the hustle and bustle of life. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're going to totally mess up your kids, have some faith. Take a deep breath. Know that we're all going to get through this together. Know that you've got an opportunity on your hands, and it's okay. It's okay if you don't follow the public school curriculum. It's okay if you blaze your own trail. It's okay if you allow your child to determine what interests them and excites them. And if they do nothing but sit in front of YouTube for 6 solid weeks and watch nothing but videos on tornadoes, know that they are getting something out of that. That they are absorbing things that you cannot possibly imagine. And it is very possible that this year, or however long we make it into this experience, may form their entire futures in a way that sitting in a school desk couldn't or wouldn't. And so have some faith. Have some faith in you, have some faith in your kids, have some faith in the system. And whether it be unschooling, and to go back to that, the whole thing about unschooling is very Montessori-esque. It's just allowing your child to follow their own interests and passions and allowing them the opportunity to be completely and fully immersed in it and to have your support in some way, shape, or form in that. So you are not necessarily teaching them, you're allowing them to teach themselves, but you are giving them the support and the network in order to do so. And I have faith in you guys, I have faith in myself, I have faith in our children. So keep on keeping on. I just wanted to pop on here and say hi to you guys because it's been a while and I do love these lives. Thanks for you guys who have joined me. And so if you catch this after the live, please comment if you are homeschooling and if you're using a particular curriculum. There may be people out here who are saying, you know, there's no way, I need some sort of guide work and framework. So there are curriculums out there. I'm not particularly following any myself, so maybe some people out there can recommend what they follow. If you've unschooled, please share your experience with that. And again, guys, just keep on keeping on, keep growing, because we don't really have much of a choice. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys.